You ready?
I'm good.
Are your linebackers getting the type of demeanor you want? Sort of a nasty mean. We talked about that earlier, Cam.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's hard. Spring, the way we do it, we've mentioned this before. If it's easy, that is what you want. The way Coach Narduzzi runs it, this is not for you. If easy is what you want, this is hard. It's a grind. We're going full 2.5 hours or whatever it is. Whether we're practicing or not, you're out here and you got to be mentally into it for that long. And I'm not saying anything about anything they've done in the past or anything like that, but this is hard. We're going to push these guys. And I think they're getting to where we want. So to answer your question, yes. Are they there yet? No. But I think they're getting to feel for what we want. I think that's so much part of the thing with a new staff is to know, okay, what's the what that these coaches are looking for, and then let me go work for it. Early on, we could talk about it and preach it, but they didn't really know, okay, what does that mean, Coach? Does that mean have a, the Bobby Knight game face, or what does that mean? It's no, taking every rep. I don't have to be a loud, fiery guy, but I got to take every rep like it's a real game rep and be locked into it, coming off the sideline, asking great questions and all those things. And I think they're getting there, especially the older guys that have taken reps before. But they just need to understand that it never ends. It's not like, oh, I'm off the field and I can take off my strap and I'm done. It never ends. It's constant if you want to be great.
The spot with Caprera and Bam, is anyone sort of separating themselves there? Is it still sort of
Well, they've been going back and forth, and we just keep rotating them. We just keep rotating them and waiting for a guy to take the lead. And if they don't take the lead, then we'll ask one of the freshmen that's coming in to take it. And we've said it before. There are those spots. They're just holding the spots. Some of them, those spots are by default because we don't have anybody else. And not to say that they're not doing a good job, but again, if we're rotating them, that means no one sees the job. And we're going to push these guys. And even when they seize the job, we're still going to push them, and I'm still going to test them. I'm still going to put a guy who sees the job and put him with the twos and see how he reacts. Because we got to be able to play like that. We got to be able to play with a chip on our shoulder constantly, and always be looking over our shoulder and understand that someone's chasing me. So again, we're going to keep rotating them. We're going to see who can fill it for us and who can do a great job. And at the bottom line is, if they both continue to rotate, we're still going to have some great depth. So regardless of who seizes it, whether it's them or someone coming in, we're going to have some guys that have taken a lot of reps in practice.
Did you expect someone to seize it by now?
I don't think so. I like where they're at. I do. I like where they're at, and that's not a cut on them to say that we're rotating them because they're not doing what we ask them to do. Part of that is to get them seasoned and reps with the ones, reps with the twos, and just continue to rotate them and get that great competition flowing. But it's a new system, and we installed another handful of things today on defense. Even really being the last day in full pads, we installed a whole other handful of things where I'm sure these guys came out expecting, we're 3 days away from the spring game. We're just going to come out here and jog around in shorts, and we end up installing 4 or 5 things on defense to see how these guys are going to react. You always got to be on your toes, and it's always got to be ready. So I think they're in a good spot. I think all the positions are in a good spot, and these guys are kind of primed to go through the summer and continue. Now when we use our verbiage and we talk about things, now we can say, hey, remember when in practice 4 this happened? Now they can have a reference point. So now when we get better in the fall, now it's fast. It's faster because we have reference points.
Jamal Davis physically looks like somebody who could be a pretty good football player. Where's he at in terms of mastering the skills and techniques that he needs to be able to do that?
Well, I think he's gotten better. He's gotten better in 13 practices, and he's a guy that didn't even show up here. He didn't even go through fall camp, or summer camp, and so he's a guy that the good news is he's a blank slate. So everything we teach him, it's for the first time, other than what his high school taught him. So. That's a good thing, and right now he's a young guy, and young players, they see a lot, and his vision is really wide, and he sees everything, the shiny thing over there, and right now we just got to get him zeroed in like a laser on what he's got to do, and that comes with just maturity and getting reps and experience and being in a system long enough to really understand it, and he'll get there, because really you think about it, he didn't go through summer camp, and then boom, he comes in, he's just on scout team the whole year, so really hasn't learned anything about a college system yet. And that's nobody's fault other than just the circumstance, but he's come along.
Do you see Grigsby taking a leadership role on the defense?
I think so, and I'd like them to take even more of one in terms of just pushing guys and holding people accountable, but he's been a very pleasant surprise. Everything I've heard, and hasn't really in the last 2 years only really played on 3rd down, and now we're asking him to play every down. And I think personally for him, I think he's got to accept that challenge personally before he can now lead outward